Hello everyone! Not gonna lie, I haven't uploaded in ages purely because I'm lazy as anything. Also noticed there that I did not swear because I'm trying to keep myself monetized. Not that I get much money from YouTube, but the less I swear, the more that I earn, basically. So for the last 2 or 3 years, I've actually put an effort into Halloween on my channel and I've done pumpkin carving. This year though, it's currently the 29th of October and I still have done Halloween's on Tuesday, it's currently Sunday, you get the gist. So today, instead of going all out, buying stuff, buying a pumpkin and everything, I'm just going to be reading scary stories because I've gone downhill, my channel's gone downhill, let's just keep up with the theme. So yeah, let's get on with the video. So this video is actually going to be more difficult than I thought to film because normally I just swear in my videos like I do my genuine reaction. And now I've got to try and react without actually swearing or I've got to beep it all out and it's like, oh my days. So according to Buzzfeed, these are 22 unbelievable but real horror stories that will scare the shit out of you. Notice there that Ben has cut out the swear word because Ben is good at editing. So the first one is the dog who sees spirits. My dog has a nasty habit of scratching the door in the middle of the night. One evening she wouldn't stop scratching the door for any reason. After calling her 5 times, I threw a pillow towards the door to make her stop. That's when she barked right beside me. She'd been there the whole time. Basically we just got a spirit dog. Didn't really scare the shit out of me. The second one is shadowy figures descending from the ceiling. When I was little, every night when the lights turned off and I go to sleep, 2 dark forms would descend from the ceiling near the doorway into my room. They walked quietly up to my bed and one stood on each side of the headboard looking at me. I would cover my head with the blanket until one day I had the courage to tell my mother. She put a lamp in my room and told me to pray and ask them to leave. I sleep with a lamp on to this day. Again, I'm not particularly scared. I mean, I can get there, it would be scary if it happened to you, but it's just not really scaring me, not really pushing the right buttons. The phantom student. One day during class, a friend of mine put his head down and took a quick nap. I took this photo to show some other friends who were in another classroom. When I took the photo, nobody in the room was standing, there was nobody behind me who could have cast a shadow, and there was nobody walking by in the classroom. Oh god. That's the first one that is weird because it's got receipts, so it's like, that's weird. Caressed by a spirit. This gal was caressed. My father died. Why am I laughing at that? My father died in 1996 when I was 10 years old and my brother was 12. We slept in a bunk bed and my brother had the upper bunk while I had the lower one. One night I woke up in the middle of the night with someone softly caressing my head. I thought it was my brother and ignored it. When I went back to sleep, the feeling returned. I got out of bed to confront my brother, but he was snoring quietly. I went to bed and the caressing began a third time. I've never prayed so hard in my life. I prayed until the sunrise in the morning. Her head was probably just against a headboard or something. That's just weird. Hands of blood and bone. When I was 8 or 9 years old, my mother worked nights and we shared a double bed. One day I felt a strange presence in my bedroom. I had my eyes closed and when I opened them, I saw hands wrapped around the bed from underneath. The hands were made of blood, bone and hanging skin and tried to climb up the bed. I turned away and there was a white shadow lying next to me. I managed, after a long time, to get up and run to my grandmother's room. She didn't dare come back to the bedroom with me. I mean, that's scary, but there's no evidence. Grandmother's spirit. My grandmother lived with my family during the last months of her life. She died on the sofa in our house one Sunday night. The following week, I started to see someone in white passing through the house occasionally, and when I went looking for them, there was never anyone there. My sister claimed that she actually saw physical form. We were terrified for a good while until my sister and I could no longer sleep in our rooms because we were too afraid. My mother prayed, burned the couch in the backyard, and we never saw anything again. Again, weird, not really scared shitless though. The bearded man in black. Sounds like the woman in black. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, I woke up to a noise in my room. When I opened my eyes, there was a man standing in front of me with a big brown beard, dark hair and black clothes. I kept looking at him in fear and backed away on the bed until I was up against the wall. Then I felt the mattress sink down beside me and I started to cry. When I looked again, he had vanished, but it still seemed as if there was someone lying next to me on the bed. I asked it to leave because I was afraid and the bed returned to normal. I cried myself to sleep and I still remember the man's face to this day. I'd never met anyone who looked like that and neither had my parents. That is spooky. Like, that's the first one of the stories that hasn't got any like picture evidence. That's the first one that's a bit like the fact that nobody knew who it was. Like if it's like your grandmother or something, like, you know, like you've got an excuse for that, but like, I don't know. The haunted building. I work in an old building that was built in 1929. The space was closed for at least 20 years before we moved in because the previous owner had killed his wife and then himself. We moved in 2 months ago and almost every day at exactly 12:08 PM the bell from the front door rings, but there's never anyone there. We've looked at security recordings and everything something and there's never anyone there. The other day I was alone in the office late in the evening. I was on my way out, so I turned off all the lights, closed all the windows and activated the alarm. When I turned to close the door, the kitchen light was on, even though I'd just turned it off. Another time, I'd arrived in the morning and the light in the main room turned itself off. I even heard the sound of the switch flipping. The last straw was when I saw someone else's face next to mine in the reflection of my computer screen. There was no one there when I turned around. I decided to talk about these things with the building manager's wife, who's lived in the building for several years. She's assured me that it's actually pretty quiet in the building these days and there used to be a lot more strange occurrences, and at least now she can take the elevator by herself. I just laughed nervously. That one is weird. Like, if that was me, all of these stories would freak me out if it was me, but if that was me, that would be the one so far that would freak me out the most. Like, things moving and stuff. Like, obviously seeing ghosts is scary, but things moving and you not knowing the actual reason except for knowing that there was a past in the building, like, that's scary. Nightmare time. My mother always complained that she had a lot of nightmares, but she would never say what her dreams were about. One day while we were at the mall, I suggested that she wait in the food court while I was getting our food. When I returned with our meal, she had a strange look on her face, so I asked her if she was okay. She said she was fine, so we finished our meals and left. As we were riding down the escalator to leave, I turned to talk to my mother and I almost had a heart attack because standing behind her was a man in old-fashioned clothing holding on my mother's shoulder and looking at me with a very angry expression. She saw the shock on my face right away and shouted at me asking what was wrong. When I told her what I'd seen, she started crying and said, "You just described the man that tries to kill me every night in my nightmares." Oh my god. That is weird because that links up, so there's clearly, I don't know, like, I don't get how ghosts and spirits work. Like, I believe there's life after death. I've never, like, explained this. I believe there's life after death, but I don't believe there's heaven, personally. Everyone can believe what they want to believe. People can pray to God, like, that's completely up to them. And I completely support of everyone that wants to be of their own religion, but I personally believe there's life after death, but I don't know what it is. So clearly there's this man, and clearly there's some link, and, like, I don't know how it works. And finally today, the faceless figure. When I was 15 years old, I stayed up late watching a TV marathon with my sister. In the middle of the night, after my sister had fallen asleep, I saw the nearby computer mouse start moving by itself. I called my mother into the room and she said it was probably a rat that was pulling the cable from underneath the desk and that I should just go to sleep. Suddenly, I swear I saw a black figure with no face or human features behind the bookcase. It looked in my direction and pointed. I nearly myself with fear. I remember saying, "Who are you? I do not want you in my house. Nobody wants you here. Get out now." The thing left and I actually heard it hit the cabinet before it just went through it. The cabinet began to sway and the door slammed and made a loud bang. That one probably was scary if it did happen, but I just don't believe it. Like, so yeah, that was it for my Halloween special of Talking with Ben. Actually, no, it's literally, what the hell, it's not even Talking Ben anymore, it's Ben Atkinson. I didn't think of that. It's because I'm still referred to as Talking Ben, so I always think that I am Talking with Ben, even though I'm just Ben Atkinson on YouTube now. If you enjoyed, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, comment down below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it. I always say this and upload like 5 videos and then go quiet for a month, but I am trying to upload more now. I've just bought a ring light, which will make a big difference because I always have to get out my softbox and it is just such a pain. I've also got a story which only the people that watch to the end will be able to see. Basically, my house is a Victorian house. It was built in 1904, I want to say. I think it says that at the top of my door, whatever. So it's a Victorian house, but when we moved in like 2001, we like completely modified it and like modernized it, I want to say. Like, this room here used to be pink, it used to be a bathroom, and now it's my room. So anyway, I only found this out the other day. This was the bathroom. It was quite literally the bathroom. Like, the toilet wasn't in here, which is the same for a lot of old houses, but our toilet was actually outside. Like, we had an outhouse where you had to go to the toilet. And like, me living here, like, this was never the case. Like, we modified the toilet obviously to be in the bathroom. And our bathroom's really weird. Like, my sister's room's there, and my mum's room's like at the front of the house, and in between they cut a bit of both room off to make a bathroom, and they turned this room into the 3rd bedroom. Anyway, that bit's relevant, just showing how old the house is. So anyway, the lady that lived here, she basically lived in our kitchen diner area. Like, they lived in that bit and they just used to light the fire and stuff, and that's basically it. I don't think the upstairs was even really used that much. Like, she literally went to a toilet and stuff. Anyway, the house was heated by a fire, and that's the main thing of this story. But I was listening to my mum the other day and she was telling this story, and I never knew this for the whole like 17 years I've been alive, and I've lived in this house my whole life. The lady that lived here before us died in this house. She was old, but she died in the coal shed. Like, she was leaning down to get some coal and she fell in and she died. And I never knew this. I've been sleeping comfortably for 17 years in this house, just like zen, like, and now I've just found out that the old lady died in this house. But she didn't die from age, she died because obviously like her bones were fragile and stuff, but she fell in and then nobody found her. So that's brilliant. I love information like that. And if the old lady's spirit is watching this video, hello to you. Please don't kill me. I'd really, really appreciate it. But yeah, that's an interesting fact for you all. I will see you guys next time, maybe even before Halloween, but this was meant as my like Halloween special, even though there's nothing Halloween about it. Like I'm just in like a pajama hoodie, like. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.